Hello? Hello. Hold on a second. I had to remove my camera. Now it's all wonky. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Friday, right? Yeah, it is Friday. Good, good. How's everybody doing? Going live here, just getting everything set up real quick. This music is like killing me. Killing me. 1 second. Turn that down for a minute. Okay. Cool. Think we're good. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday again, as always. I decided to go live early today because why not? I've been making a lot of progress on this over the past couple of days, and I want to continue making progress on it, so I might do a little bit of a longer stream. Don't know. We're just going to go with how it feels. Need to set up my app real quick. 1 second. Clock in. Yeah. Where is it? There it is. Beautiful. All right. How much of this project took you to finish, honestly? Currently 40-ish hours, I think, is what we're at. Something like that. That's also an issue. Let's fix that real quick. Yeah, I think we're sitting at like 40 hours so far, which is honestly way more than I would like. Specifically just because like I feel like a lot of this has just been like experimentation, but yeah, so I'm gonna work some more. We're gonna finish up this cockpit area today. Probably gonna start working on realigning some of these panels just to get this whole area kind of filled out and taken care of. And then I want to figure out what I'm doing up here because I don't really know what I'm doing up here yet. But yeah, so we got stuff to do. So the biggest thing that I'm going to be working on now is creating kind of the trim. So I started it. This is just kind of like the trim that the cockpit glass itself would like sit into. So that's where we're going to be kind of focusing today. Everything's kind of smoothed and looking good. Cool. All right, cool. Well, let's get it. Let's see. So I kind of did a little bit of it over here, but I think I need to do more. I think I need something else to kind of connect to this point here. So I'm just kind of like throwing stuff out there and just kind of seeing how stuff works together. But I know for the big issue that I have right now is like these panels are very much see-through. So like if you did some sort of shot in the cockpit, you would see right into the body of this. It wouldn't look good. So I need to work on filling that out because that needs to be filled out. And then, yeah, otherwise I think we're just going to start rolling with it. So I'm going to start working on a trim piece for this portion. Let's get a cube in here. But how's everybody doing tonight? Anybody working on anything cool? You guys doing anything cool tonight? Or this morning, depending on what time it is for you.
Put that cookie down.
Now! What's up, Sharky? How you doing, man? Let's see. Tayball EXE. Tayball. I'm gonna call you Tayball. How you doing? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, Sarah? How are you? Okay. I don't know why I had such a hard time saying your name, Tayball. My brain was just not working. Oh, Ty. Wow. I can't read, apparently. Hello, what's up? Roy, thank you for the resub. Thank you for the biddies. Madness, what's up, man? How are you doing? Jesus Christ, guys. Hi, everybody. Once again, I apologize for getting your name wrong. I'm terrible at reading those, so I will make sure I do better. Hi, guys. How are you? Good to see everybody. Let's see. Tie-ball. Okay, I'm going to remember that. I will try my best not to forget. But how are you doing tonight, Tie-ball? And how are you doing, Roy and Madness? Music's a little bit loud for me right now. Turn that down a tad bit. Can you guys actually hear it? Yeah. Cool. I'm good. Very tired, but good. Well, you got to stream now, man. There's no time for tired. Time for live stream. I'm good. Working on a render. Nice. What are you working on? Just trying to like line that up a little bit better. Cool. This will kind of follow the same like panel gapping that I've been doing, but a little bit different. I also dislike that, but I don't want to adjust it necessarily, so let's see. I'm going to start just kind of inching stuff up a bit. Okay. Cool. I've been trying to look at this as like kind of like a car, right? Like you'd be building like a car or something where like you have all these overlapping like seals and stuff. Why did my gizmo get so small? What the hell happened? That's weird. I'll have to fix that here in a minute. Let's see. Sarah, I'm going to remember to tell you there's no time for tired the next time you tell me you're tired. I'm never tired. I'm always awake 100% of the time. I know, I'm getting things ready. I gotcha. What are you streaming tonight, Roy? Throwing together a scene in UE5? Nice. Super cool. I'm excited to use Unreal for this one. Okay. So this is where I need to start kind of adjusting some stuff. So we're gonna kind of block out the base. Okay, that's driving me nuts. Hold on a second. Preferences. UI manipulator, global scale. Okay, yep. Much better. Okay, so pretty sure, yeah, so this is gonna be a little bit difficult. Try to keep this like going into the back rooms. Nice. That's only because of caffeine. Yeah, man. I live off of that stuff. Did I have more? I did have more caffeine today, actually. More than usual, anyway. Okay. I have to do some flexing and adjusting of things here, but that's alright. Really just working on the main shape of this so far. Your content is great. Love the tips and tricks. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you enjoy them. I have been fighting really hard with like meta recently and getting that stuff like out there, so I'm glad people are still seeing them. Out of curiosity, where'd you find me from? Like what platform? Okay. Alright, so that's gonna be the bottom of... Whoa, hello, why'd that open up? It's gonna be the bottom of that seal. Okay. So... basically, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is just kind of create a lip. I don't know, this is gonna be a little funky. I'm not hyper happy with this, but I just gotta make this work because I'm not gonna reshape all these panels for this. Does this detail necessarily matter? No, not really, but for me it does. Instagram, my quick tips appeared on my reels. Nice, super cool. Always love that. And that's good because Instagram's been miserable lately. It's looking great. Thank you. I'm learning Unity, but I feel like I'm missing out with Unreal. But I feel Unity for a one-man show journalist freelancer feels like a better choice. I don't really know. I've never used Unity before. I hear mixed. I personally like Unreal, but I'm kind of already used to the, you know, like the crazy-ass workflows. So I guess it's not super different for me. But, you know, one thing you can always do is just find people who are also, like, in the beginning stages and see, like, what their experiences were, starting with new applications like that. Especially Unity, because I know Unity is, like, good for a lot of things, but not so good for some stuff, so it's kind of like whatever flavor of software you need. Okay. And then this is where this kind of shifts, because it needs to... This is going to be a really wonky little piece, but it's fine. Where did my chat go? There it is. And now I have that clipped for blackmail. Good. Good. Unity is capable of really amazing visuals, but I think a lot easier to get into Unreal. I could see that, yeah. And Unreal, kind of like to that point, like Unreal is going to have a little bit denser of a population of like tutorials. So because it is very quickly becoming like the standard. So, you know, you can choose whatever you want to choose. Ideally, most of the stuff transfers over knowledge-wise, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But you know, pick what works for you. I say that, and I'm over here struggling with Blender, so you know, there's some truth to that, and then there's some like, you know, just like whatever. Okay, so that's going to be where that kind of just flexes. Alright, so that creates a nice seal there. Gives us a little bit of a gap. And then I'm going to just do a little extrusion. Cool. But C# is such a lovely language, so I prefer programming in Unity. That's fair. I'm not a programmer, so I don't do any of that stuff, but you know, it always put a hole in my map by accident. Always depends on like what you're comfortable with. And so if you like C# and you're good with C#, then that's obviously a good choice. I don't know if I'll ever end up doing programming stuff inside of one of those engines. Maybe I will someday, but like, I don't know. I kind of need that. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. I'm gonna have to just manually adjust this because like I don't, it's such a weird angle. It's just not gonna work. It also needs to be like super thin, because this is technically where the glass or the what do you call it, the cockpit lid sits. So it needs to be remotely small. Okay.
Okie dokie.
Do you use Mash a lot in Maya? I recently started using it. I've used it a couple times. I actually used it to make the tank treads on my tank, and then ended up having to rebuild them anyway. Yeah, I've used it a little bit. I'm really curious, so I don't know if you guys were keeping up. Maya 2026 just added a bunch of new rigid dynamic stuff to Bifrost, which makes me wonder if they're going to get rid of Mash. But I'm kind of excited about that because they added a new fracture node, which Maya has greatly needed for a long time. And so I actually have 2026 downloaded. I just haven't installed it yet because I want to start playing with it again. And it should be stable enough now at this point. Use it for the same reason. Yeah, it was this guy's treads. And then I ended up using motion paths for the rigging of them, so I had to basically just start over. Why is DaVinci still open? Which is fine. It's not a big deal. Thanks for the advice. You're welcome. You were thinking of switching to Blender? No, absolutely not. I am doing a series on YouTube where I learn Blender, and it's been a thing. It's been something. C# feels very approachable. Yeah, it's an older language too, so like it's pretty ingrained and like well supported and well understood. It's a lot better than saying like learning Python or Mel or any of that stuff. Take that with a grain of salt though, because I don't know C# at all. I think I have a book for it. I do have a book for C#. I have never used it though. Need a nice even lip. All right. to like, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Are you familiar with any other languages? So I do a little bit of Python, Mel, of course, because I've been using Maya forever. And then in my day job, I work with SQL and a couple other different stuff, Ruby on Rails. But yeah, mostly just Python and Mel for what I do. Never had a reason to learn C# yet. It's actually funny because like my college gave us the C# book, which I'm like, none of these applications actually utilize this. Back when I was in school, anyway. A little bit different now that, especially with like the advent of like game design going where it is. But I was not in a game design course, so I wasn't really sure why I had that. But I'm sure it's good to have. Okay. So this, I think what we're gonna do is I will close it there. So let's look at that. It's going to be a really weird looking piece. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. Give it some support. Show isolate view selected. Alright, smooth and see how we got. Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful. And that kind of seals that portion of the cockpit, which is cool. Do you know a way to export Maya? Export out of Maya is GLTF. What format is that? GLTF. Let's see. .GLTF format. What is that? Open standard for efficiently transmitting 3D and 2D models. I've never even heard of that. Let's see. GLTF. Well, if there is one, let's see. Probably isn't, but there might be a plugin for it somewhere. GLT. No. There's no inherent plugin for it, so I've heard with an extension you can. Okay, yeah, so there, probably. Is Mel a completely separate language, or is it like derived from another language? That's a great question. I don't know enough to answer that, but I'm pretty sure it's separate because it's like inherent to Maya, but it coexists with Python, so my guess would be it's probably more Python based than anything else. But yet to find. You can check Gumroad maybe. I don't know, let me see. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. GLTF Maya. Oh, there's a question on the Autodesk forum about it. Babylon.js. There is a plugin. Okay, so this one. Yeah, so you can look at Babylon.js. It looks like there is a plugin for it, but it's very, like, very removed from Maya, so I don't really know how that works. I'd have to play with that. I have no idea. I found it weird that there were two scripting languages in Maya. Yeah, it is a little odd, but I think Mel kind of came around because Python was so limited initially when they built Maya, and then both of them have kind of evolved so much that a lot's changed. Because like most of my older scripts that I use, I had to get them rewritten or like rewrite them myself in order to get them to work in like modern Maya. just because Python did not, it just wasn't built for it. So I think that's why they built like a separate language for it. I don't necessarily think it was like anything, you know, dastardly, but I don't know. I'd be interested to look at the history of it. Okay, so those should both be fitting nicely. Cool. I'm gonna actually just change the coloring on these because it gets lost with everything else. Let's see. I'm gonna just do AI standard surface. Where are you? I'll make those kind of not that black. Just a little bit darker. Or the same. Come on now. There we go. That's better. I can at least, like, discern what's going on there now. Okay. So that kind of handles that. Let's look at doing this outer seam here now, because this needs its own, like, flush mount thing, too. How do I want to do this? I guess I'll just go up and go over. That makes the most sense to me right now. As always, guys, on either platform or any of the platforms that I stream on, if you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. I do not mind. You are not interrupting me or anything like that. I know some people get kind of worried that I'll get mad that I'm being interrupted, but you are not. That's why I do the live streams, otherwise I wouldn't do them. Okay. So we're going to do the same kind of thing here. Okay. And then I'm going to just nix that guy for right now. Is there a way to see all the materials of an object in Maya and not just one, especially when the single mesh might contain several other materials? The only other way is through the actual hypershade. So if you go up to Windows, Rendering Editors, Hypershade, this gives you everything that's being used in your scene, and then you can actually specifically like highlight things. So if I go over here, right? So say I want to see that one. I can actually right-click on this graph network. I can also right-click it and then select all objects with it applied. Oh, sorry, it's this one. My bad. This one. And it'll actually select everything that material is applied to. So that's usually how you want to see all your materials in the scene. I just realized that the wings are using the wrong material, which is kind of stupid. I wondered why those looked different. That's better. So it's more scene-oriented rather than object. I wish there was another way around it, not gonna lie. Yeah, so as far as like object goes, like it depends, right? Like if your object is made up of multiple materials, you're gonna want to do that in Hypershade because that's how you're gonna actually graph out the entire thing and work on the separate nodes. So reality is like, say I imported a texture here, right? I can open that up in Hypershade. I don't know if I really have a good example of it, though. So say I wanted just the material on that object, you know, I'd graph this out. And then from here, you'd be able to attach all your different nodes and everything like that and kind of work and build things out. That's the only way that I know of to do that, if you're talking about just object-based materials. But everything should flow into one actual, like, surface material. So like that's what this is, right? Your shader is what's actually technically getting applied to your model, and then everything else is just a separate node. But yeah, it is more scene focused than it is object focused. So it's not like Blender where when you click on an object you have like all of the different things that like pull out on the side. because I think I know where you're coming from, and that's one of the things that actually drives me nuts about Blender because I'm used to doing it this way. So it's a little bit different. Yeah, Hypershade's really confusing. I have a beginner's tutorial going over it because it is so stupid. It's very intuitive once you like get the hang of it, but initially it's very stupid. I think I have like 3 Hypershade tutorials or something like that now. I really like the Hypershade coming from UE. Yeah, so it depends on where you started, right? Like, that's the big thing about this stuff is, like, depending on what application you started in, you're either going to have a great time moving into another one or you're going to have a horrible time. So, me doing Maya and then moving into Blender to learn Blender, a horrible fucking time. I do not have a good time at all. But somebody vice versa probably either has a good time or a bad time, so it's very different. Dev52, thank you for the follow on Instagram. Yeah, if you're familiar too with like node-based workflows, like you probably really love Hypershade. I've been getting more and more into like node-based stuff recently, and like I both love and hate it. Okay. I really don't like Blender from UE. Wait, and I really don't like Blender from UE. That's fair. Yeah, that's kind of how I am. I actually prefer UE over all the other material shader graphs. It makes more sense to me. Not gonna lie, I don't know how to put it in more logic. No, I mean that's fair. Like some of them are just built better. Unreal took me a minute to learn because theirs is a little different. But once you get the hang of it, it wasn't too bad. Okay, I want to pull that out a bit because I actually need that part. Okay. Let's see. So I'm going to do a face. And we're going to just do the same thing here. We're going to just kind of work this in. Okay. Just kind of making sure these like actually overlap. How long have you been working in Unreal? Abionis? Okay. So I want to see... Okay. So that's kind of problematic. That needs to be dropped. Dropped and moved over. I don't really care about like how accurate that looks. I'm gonna have to kind of drop that down a bit in the back because it needs to be sealed otherwise, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Quite a while now, not gonna lie, I've been dabbling since 2 years ago. Okay, but now I'm more focused on it since I work on game environment. Nice, super cool. I need to get into environments at some point, but for some reason I have the hardest time grasping them. I don't know why. Alright, how does that work? Okay, as long as it's underneath. I have to basically redo the interior of this thing, but that's for another adjustment period. Let's see. I'm going to turn that off for now. So I'm going to go mesh, mirror. Oops. Actually, let's do this. Hold on. Might as well just support it and get it done with. Just a basic gasket. Nothing too crazy. Okay. Sweet. Okay. That meshes up pretty well. Yeah. Cool. Mirror. Beautiful. Love it when it works like that. Let's see. Do you find the quadrangulate in Maya to be good? I can't think of a time where I didn't get a bad result out of it. So, I don't know. I think it's getting there. I don't use it a lot. I've had to use it a couple of times in the past to try to fix like models that I've received from somebody. But I don't know. The results are never really like where I want them to be. So it's just not something I really use. Most of the time I'll just like kind of rework it. Yeah, it doesn't really work all that well. There are some times where symmetry in Maya outright doesn't work. Yeah, so I found recently, and I don't know why this is. This is kind of a weird issue. But here, we'll practice on this because I know I need to rebuild this part. So if I go here and I just select all this junk, okay. Wow, that's really jacked up, actually. So, I have this, right? I smooth this, make sure it all works. What the hell? Oh, 5. There is something going on there. This is why I have to rebuild this piece. Let me check this real quick, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I see what happened. That's fun. It's easier to do it this way because if you delete that, it punishes you. Okay. I think everything else is good, right? Alright, let's see if I can get this to do this. So, one stupid thing about the way Maya does things is the, one more. With the mirror tool, I've noticed recently anyway. So if I go here and I go to mirror this, right? Does that. That's pretty normal. We're kind of used to that. You just got to reset your axis position. But if I go positive, Is it gonna do it on this one? It's not gonna do it. But basically, what it's doing is it's constantly like updating this like threshold. So you can see, oh yeah, it is doing a little bit there. So if I just kind of like adjust that, you can see how it's like hyper merging. So now when I do this, I always take this and I go 0.025 because that's going to kind of just get it back to a normal kind of merge, and it won't jack everything up and merge everything, because that has caused me so many problems. And it took me a minute to figure out it was doing that. I don't know why that number changes constantly, but yeah, food for thought. That one always bugs me. Let's see, my music stopped. I can't use that music anymore because I don't pay for that service. Where are you? There we go. Actually, you know what I can do? I can use NCS, and I think I have... Do I have a playlist for them? Oh, I thought I did. Let's see. NC... Oh, I have an album for them. Yeah, there we go. Just want different music. That works. Just came in before going to bed. Thank you for all the Maya tips you've been sharing on IG. You're awesome. Me and my uni friends love you lots. Wish you great things from Italy. Thank you so much, Vale. I appreciate it. And get some good sleep. Italy, that's cool. Alright, so we finished that. Let's look at this, because this needs to kind of come down a bit. And I'm probably going to do it right there, if we're being totally honest. So let's take this. I have to ask, is that Pepsi or Coke? It's Pepsi. Partially because I said screw Coke, because I don't like Coke anymore. It's also a SodaStream, so I buy the SodaStream flavor stuff, because try not to use a bunch of plastic and things. But it is Pepsi. Coke lost me last year when they did an AI advertisement. And then they doubled down on it this year, so... Good times. That's better. What is... Oh, it's just sticking through. I was like, what is happening? I'm gonna pull that down a bit, actually. Cool. Cancel. All right. What about anybody else? You guys working on anything cool over on Instagram? What you guys got? What you guys working on tonight? I'm liking the way this is all flowing. It's working quite well. That part I'm not a huge fan of, but that's one of those never gonna see it, don't really need to worry about it type deals, so. Okay. Now, let's see. I want to do like a little grate here. So let's look at doing that. Let's do a little grate. I love modeling grates so much. It's my favorite thing in the world. Do you usually do texture work in Maya, or do you export everything and maybe use Painter? Yeah, I use Painter. Painter is like my primary, what I use all the time. I used it so much I ended up buying it off of Steam because I got tired of paying for it. But I love Painter. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Sometimes that doesn't work. So yeah, anytime you're watching me, so like basically what'll happen is I'll do my modeling in Maya, I do all of my UV unwrapping in Rhizome because it's just so much faster. And then I do all of my texturing inside of Substance Spinner. Yeah, I love Substance. I don't love the company that owns Substance, so wanted to make sure that I had the opportunity to buy it like outright, and then I took advantage of it because, yeah, I get tired of that company. You don't unwrap in my... No, I do not. I stopped doing that a while ago. Same sort of technology, right? Like, it operates the same way, but I just like Rhizome a lot better. It's much faster, so I tend to like purpose-built applications. It's one of the things that kind of bothers me about the whole Blender's better argument, because like Blender is a master of none, basically, like has a bunch of stuff but isn't great at everything. So I like purpose-built applications. So like Maya, I do my modeling, my animation, I do my texturing in Substance, I do my UVs in Rhizome. If I do sculpting, I do it in ZBrush. Yeah, you know, you gotta pay for those things, but that's just the way my workflow has worked for me for the longest time. And Rhizome was something I picked up last year, and I really enjoy using it. I use Rhizome now thanks to you. Nice, very cool. Are you enjoying it? It's called Rhizome. Here, I can show you what it looks like. Why is my Windows doing weird things? That's not promising. Hold on. Whenever stuff starts happening, it's time to save. 1 second. Increment save. Okay. So this is Rhizome. It doesn't normally open like this, but my computer likes to do stupid things. So basically it loads up your model here. So like I can, here I'll load the, let's see, load with UVs. Where's it gonna go? Oh, perfect. My Tron disk. So it's a pretty nice application. It takes a minute to kind of get used to the interface. It's kind of weird, but it's fast. It's super fast. Don't pay attention to the blue. That's just because the normals are reversed. But I like it just because like selecting things in Rhizome for UVing is super easy, and its layout algorithm is like perfect. What makes it so much better than Maya? So here, I'll show you a piece. Let's do this. Gonna be kind of a bad example, but let me isolate this. Oops, hold on. Isolate this. So, you know, here we have this piece, right? So, like, normally in Maya, you'd go through and select everything and just kind of, like, do your unwrapping that way. So let me sew this real quick. And then just unwrap it, because it'll, yeah. So, there we go. We have our messy, horrible mesh, because I haven't found a way to actually delete UVs in Rhizome, which is kind of weird. But basically, the thing that I, like, the reason I fell in love with it is that, so I want to cut out this valley, right? Like, I will just click here, shift click there. It automatically detects where it wants you to pull from, or where you're kind of wanting to pull from. And you can do the same kind of flow, right? So, like, I can go click that, and then I can go all the way over here, and then just hold shift and click across. And so it cuts down on your cutting time by quite a bit. And then you can just cut it, and then that's a shell right there. So you can just start kind of unfolding and working from there. So it's much faster. It's just faster. Like, the tools are inherently the same, but it's a hell of a lot faster. Especially dealing with cylindrical shapes. Yeah, it's super easy for all that stuff. Like, I recommend anyone download the demo and just play with the demo and watch a tutorial on how to use it. And it's such a good change. And plus, they have like this whole rent-to-own program, so you basically pay monthly for a year and then you own it outright. Stigma, what's up? Thank you for the lurk. Can you make a video on how to create UDIMs? I kind of have one, I think. I'm pretty sure I do. Maybe I don't. Maybe I should. Potentially, yes. I'm actually in the progress of like doing a lot of changes to like my content on YouTube, so you guys are gonna start seeing some cool stuff soon, hopefully. Okay. So that's cool. So I need to do, let's see. Let's turn on the actual glass. So the biggest issue here with the glass is that currently it doesn't really fit within the seam. So we're gonna go start working on that. I'm okay with it going through it, but I need it to like actually kind of sit with it. That's gonna be such a pain in the ass to do. All right. I kind of wish I hadn't have supported this, but let's do this. I'm gonna just delete that. We're gonna just start kind of fresh-ish. Go back, hold on. Okay. I'm wondering if it would be easier just to, it might be. Just delete this. No, I don't necessarily want to do that. First software I unwrapped in was 3ds Max and was horrible. Maya saved me. 3ds, I have a long history of 3ds and I don't like 3ds at all. I used it for the like first part of like my high school years. I hated it. Did not enjoy it at all. So I don't blame you for not liking it, because it kind of sucks. It's good for what people use it for, but like I didn't like it at all. Need to make sure YouTube's not flagging any music things here. No, we're good. Cool. Am I actually live on YouTube right now? What the hell? Yeah, no, we're good. Okay. Alright, so I want that to interface with that more. I'm gonna have to do a lot of like twisting and torquing and stuff, which is fine, I suppose. Let's do... Huh. Okay. This is gonna break. I know it's gonna break. It's not gonna look good. Okay. Cool. Yeah, really trying to just avoid how chunky and thick these bars are. Because they're too much. There we go. Too much. I'm gonna come back and fix this corner. But I'm just gonna worry about shaping everything else right now. Okay. I'll try to keep that in the place where it is. All right, let's do this. Hold on. This will be a lot easier if this is like unsupported. So I'm gonna just reduce this thing real quick, because this is just gonna be a nightmare if I don't do this. I'm gonna just get rid of everything that I don't necessarily need. Just simplify this. I always do that. Like I try to adjust things when it's been like finalized like that, and it always does not work. So I'm just gonna throw in the towel immediately and just do it right. I hate to have to redo work, but it'll be worth it in the long run. Okay. That needs to stay there because that's part of that. Why are there... Oh. Keep one of those. Basically, anything that's not supporting the actual shape of it, I'm going to get rid of. That's shape. That's not. Because these are all just for smoothing. Alright, cool. That should be a lot easier to work with. Cool. When you delete those edges and all the vertex points remain, why do you target weld them and not select all and delete them? So, the reason why, and the reason that happened beforehand is because I did it wrong. So if you see now, like if I smooth this, you can see how those verts aren't there anymore. If you control delete, it deletes the verts too. But, so to give you an example, right? So if we just did like a multi-cut here, and then we'll just leave a vert here. So if I go into my vertices and I click this vert and I delete it, it's going to prove me wrong. Usually when you do that, it deletes the entire loop, because Maya thinks that that one driving shape is the entire loop, so it'll delete the whole thing. That's why I target weld those, because most of the time I do that, it just deletes it for no reason. But you can control delete to delete the entire thing. Was this a blockout mesh? This part was, yeah. So that's why I'm kind of going back through and changing this up now. I just got ahead of myself and decided to not make it a blockout mesh anymore. Back when I did this. Oh, nope, that's important. All right, we'll keep that. Why is that there? That's honestly not good. Okay. Yeah, I've really kind of just been going through this thing and like piece by piece, just adjusting things. All right, so let's look at the front of this. So these need to sit higher. Just get rid of that too. Okay. See, that got all jacked up too. Hold on. Oh, there's some weirdness going on here. What happened? Oh, okay. No, I see what happened. Okay. I'm gonna end up having to come through and reattach that to the body, but that's all right. Not a big deal. Okay. So this one should sit flush right against that. This part, though, that'll be okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it just needs to, like, somewhat make sense. That's why I did that. Okay, I see. Yeah, it's a good chance to kind of just refine this anyway, so it's not a big deal. Where were you before? I have a feeling if I adjust that outer one, it's going to freak out. So let's do this. Just have that rest right there. That should be okay. Nope, don't like that. Okay. Did that not? Oh, shoot. Cool. Had a piece that never got merged. Okay. Do you use Maya for your day job? Nope. I work in IT. So this is my side gig slash hobby. I do some like freelance stuff occasionally, but it's not as much. I knew that was going to happen. I am looking to change that though, so like probably this next year I'm going to be trying to change that over. Because I'm a little tired of working on computers. It gets really old. There we go. Okay. That's much better. Oh, look, another one. Just want to make sure. Yeah, I left pieces all over the place. Okay. I think that's better. Okay. Oh, Instagram die. Are we already at an hour? Oh, wow, we are. Oh, let's go. Yeah. Let me fix Instagram real quick, guys. No, public. Copy the stream key. Settings. B, hit OK. Go live. Come on. There we go. Cool. All right, so that's kind of working a little bit better. That's, oh God, never mind, hold on. The hell song is that? Oh no, no Christmas music. A little too early for that. Okay. Okay. So let's look at that now with the actual body of the ship invisible. Let's see. Okay. So let's start kind of adjusting here. One. Okay. Okay. Trying to stick with the same, like, flow here. Can I show you what I'm working on somehow? Yeah, so, I don't know if you're in our Discord, but there is a Discord you can post your work in, because you can't send links on the social platforms because they don't allow it. But, yeah, we have a Discord where you can post, like, your work in progress stuff, and then you can also, like, showcase other work that you've done. So you're more than welcome to join there. If you're on Twitch, so just !socials will take you there. There's a link in there. Okay. Okay, let's match all of this again. This is the only part that sucks about this, but I can fix it pretty quickly. That's all matching up fine. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to concern myself with a little bit of stuff showing there. Really not a big deal. Okay. Root is seeking. What's up? I'm doing good. How are you? Hey, Michael. How you doing? Okay. Let's see. Did you see the engine project I sent? I just got the idea on why it's very laggy. I think I have too many individual parts. Where did you send it? If it was in Discord, I haven't been in Discord much today. Let me see. I don't think it was. Did I miss something? I just said hi, Michael. I don't know if it was like delayed or something. Just posted in the 3D showcase dedicated that location was right. You know, that's fine. Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. And this is all on Unreal? I give you mad props for figuring out nighttime lighting because I can't figure that out for the life of me. That looks great. That's my viewport. Nice. Yeah, it's looking awesome. Super clean. How long have you been working on that? Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so let's fix this. This actually kind of needs to... Eh. Oh, come on. I feel like... Okay. About 5 days. Nice. Are you doing like low poly workflow, or are you just doing high poly assets? How are you handling that? Let's see. 8 days and going. By the way, it's not comparable to your models. No, you don't have to compare to mine. Where did you send it? Because I didn't see it. Unless you're... Let me see. Hold on. Did you send it on Instagram? Am I just like stupid and didn't realize I was talking with you like that about that project? Yeah, where'd you send that? Rude is seeking. Where'd you send that? I'd like to look at it. I will be now shamelessly plugging my last work. Ah, that's good. Aspen Trail. Ooh, that's pretty. Is this in... What is this in? Unity? No, this is Unreal. Speed Tree. That's gorgeous. I love the texturing you did on that. And the stylization. Super cool. So you did the sculpting in ZBrush. Okay, nice. Substance Designer. Super cool. Yeah, that's gorgeous. Did not get sent. Wait, let me send it to you. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was like, I swear I didn't miss something. Yeah, thanks for posting both of those, guys. Those are both great. Let's see. Oops. Thank you for snapping. Okay, so I need one more snap point here. So I'm going to multi-cut there. I'm going to grab that little piece and just snap. Cool. Alright, so that's good. So now I can start matching everything real quick. I'm not super worried about that. Let's go here, multi-cut. So I do need to support this. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Ooh, okay. Hold up. This is going way too well for there to not be an issue, but there's the issue. And quite honestly, that should be... Let's see. Might pull that back a bit. What's up, Zach? How you doing, man? Good to see you. What? Why is everybody trying to message me right now? What is going on? Okay. Let me know when you get that sent. Root is seeking. I'll take a look at it. I'm just realizing that that flow is just not working. Okay. Let's see. Okay, that's where it kind of shifts and transitions, so I'm going to leave that part alone. I wish that didn't affect that, but it does. Shift I. I do this differently because I don't like the way that's working. Ah, okay, I see. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. Lena Bay, hi, how are you? It's super late for me, so I'm gonna go sleep, but it was cool to be here. Alright, sounds good, Ty. You have a good night. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it as always. And I'll see you soon. I'm back. Wait, okay, I'm back on the ground. How you doing? Back on the ground? What do you mean? Were you flying? It's in this 3D showcase section I've posted. Let me know any tips on a new bag. Okay, let's see. Oh, no. I remember this. Okay, I remember talking to you about this. I'm sorry. My brain sucks. It looks super solid. Like, you've got a lot of great detail in there. The only thing I would wonder is, what does your wireframe look like? Like, how dense is the model? Because you definitely have, like, a good chunk of, like, detail going on in there. But my curiosity is like, how dense is the model? And how much stuff do you have that's, like, detail-oriented that's, like, either too high poly or could be hidden? Both of those projects look good, though. Like, I wouldn't necessarily call you a noob. I think the only thing I see that really sticks out to me is the screws on the guitar are a little wonky, but otherwise, your stuff looks great. Let's see. Did you never get any of my messages on Insta? No, I got like 2 of them, and I said hi, and then you never responded. It's not surprising, given my end cut out every 30 seconds. What do you... Explain why you were not on the ground. Why were you not on the ground? How long have you been a 3D artist? About 15 years. Give or take a couple years. Well, give or take about a year. Wouldn't say a couple years. Okay. Oh. Great. See, there you go. That's what I was talking about earlier. Flying back. Oh, we just landed. Okay, so you're flying. Gotcha. Also, are you doing like a helicopter tour? Like, what's going on here? That's cool. Well, welcome back. My god, man. What the hell? All these little extra floating verts that didn't get deleted for whatever reason. It's probably a good thing that I'm doing this anyway, so... Oh, my eye's itchy. Why? Let's see, wireframe, I'll get to that, but it doesn't look good. Wait, does it not? Oh, it does not look good. Okay, I see. Yeah, let me know, like, post your wireframe so I can kind of walk you through what you're missing on. But I mean, like, otherwise, like, your models, like, form-wise look great. That's a little bumpy, and I don't like that. I'm gonna have to fix that, but... Alright. That's already supported, technically. I hate having to redo all this, but... it was worth it to not have to deal with the weirdness. Okay. I fully expect this to break somewhere. BRB, deep planning. Okay. I mean, it's not optimized for games. I mean, that's okay. I don't do game optimization, so I can read it a lot better. Maybe. And then that needs to be... okay. Got a little bit of funkiness going on there, just because there's no support. Okay. That's looking totally fine to me. Oh. And there's an issue. Alright, so... why? What got missed? Okay. What's going on here? Oh. Okay, so it doesn't want me to do that at all. I can't actually do that. I think it's just this space. Oh, nope, it's actually quite a few issues. God damn it. Alright, hold on. I love that. Okay. You obviously have to go somewhere where you're not going. Oh, man, what the hell happened? Okay. Fun times. Let's see. It's you. You need to be linked right there, so... this whole segment's trash. Okay. So, let's see. You technically need to be rerouted. Target weld this guy to... nope, not that. Okay, that's That's better. There's an extra vert there. Delete you. That should be just one face now. Okay. What the hell is happening here? Okay. I think that worked out. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be better. It's because of the weird, like, angle that I've got going on in here. I'm not a massive fan of that, but it works. Okay, that's better. So we're gonna just kind of clean that up a little bit. 1 second, guys. There's an extrovert somewhere. Oh, beautiful. Okay, so that's fun. Good morning, Gaurav. How are you? Let's see, what do we got? How are you finding streaming 3D in the just chatting category over the art category? Did I never change it back? Bad. Not good. I just forgot to change it. I'm going to fix that right now, actually, that you bring that up. Yeah, it didn't change much. Art. I forgot that I changed that. Thanks for pointing that out. How are you? I'm doing good, man. How are you doing, Zach? And what's up, Oleg? How are you doing? Yeah, it was just something I tried that definitely did not work out at all. I wondered why. I was like, wait a minute. Because I was looking at my stats the other day. I was like, something's weird. Okay. Holy shit, man. Okay. That needs to be cleaned up badly. Good man, just wrapped up God of War Ragnarok. Nice, how was it? Come on, let's do some ZBrush. Oh man, I'm not much of a ZBrusher. I'm getting there, but I am not the best at it. I'm for sure not doing hard surface in ZBrush because that's just a death wish. Okay, let's correct this because that got all jacked up in there. I started playing the God of War games on my my Ally. I just never got past one. I should probably try those games again. Okay. I think I have solved the issue. Hopefully. It's at least not pulling weird anymore. Yeah, that should be meshing up much better now. Okay. Doing alright, just lurking around some 3D streamers while doing some work. Have fun with the topology. Thanks, man. You have a good one. Glad to know you're doing good. I love the game. Yeah, I need to get it because it's on PC now, right? Alright, let's clean this up one more time. Hold on. I know this is going to set me back a little bit, but it's better to just get this cleaned now. Okay. Alright, so that's the issue that I was having earlier. So let's follow that guy. Let's see why that's happening. Oh, that's why it's happening. Because I was dumb. That's why that's happening. Okay. This is going to get a lot worse before it gets better, but it's fine. Alright, so that should be technically stopped. Yeah, right there. Oh. I see. Ooh, that's not great. That's on a totally separate... Damn it. Okay. Okay. Control delete. Is this your personal work? Yeah, this is just a personal project of mine. This is kind of like my last portfolio piece for the year. Why are you like this? I see. Okay, I can't stand this song. I take it you've played all the God of Wars, Zach? Okay. I'm gonna reroute this. I think. Yeah. This has to flow better. Because right now it just doesn't. Okay. It's fine. Don't really need that right now. So that loops around. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think that should be reworked now. For the most part. Almost. Still a couple issues. So that needs to link to that right there. Okay. Cool. Just rebuilding this one little piece at a time. Let's see. What you building? Curiosity of. This is my... Not my design, but my Naboo interceptor. It was original concept art by Ivo. And yeah, been modeling this for far too long now. Shift I. Oh no, I ran out of music again. All right. Fixing loops is always complicated. It's kind of a pain. It's like a really crappy puzzle. It's honestly like one of the worst things. I just can't stand it. But eventually it starts making sense. Okay, I see. Alright, I think that little expedition's over finally. How are you supporting? Okay, cool. So the only issue now is that that's not. Okay. Better. So now it still breaks. It's still breaking. But why? Is it because it's back here that it's breaking? No, see, okay, so let's do this. No. I'm gonna just drag this through and figure out why this is breaking over here. Because this needs to exist on this loop right here. So technically, I see, okay. Yep, I see why that's broken. Okay. Oh my god, I hate this so much. Okay. So basically we need to get this loop over to this guy, so let's start working on that. Get rid of you. And then this is gonna have to be kind of shifted a little bit, so let's see. Make this easier on myself and just get rid of that. I'm gonna cut that. Get rid of this face. Delete. Okay, so if I select that loop now, edge. So that's how that's linking. Okay. We'll bridge that, and then we got this nice little craptacular triangle, which honestly just goes somewhere. Let's see, where do you go? So that's an edge loop. We need that. We don't need that currently, so let's get rid of that. Alright, what do we got? Nope, cancel. Okay. So I really need this to just like work a little bit better, if I'm being totally honest. What do you do again? Kind of a main support curve. Well, you're gonna get rerouted, so that's how that's gonna happen. Okay. I think now I can fix this. Potentially. Yeah, okay. Hopefully this doesn't create some horrible freaking loop. It shouldn't, though. No. Okay, that's straight through. Cool. So now I have to basically do that recut. And then we'll get that marked through. Okay. That does create a triangle, but we can work that out now. Honestly, I could just leave the triangle. Oh, no, wait, hold on. No need when you can do this. That just leaves an n-gon, which is only on one side, so that's unfortunate. That cuts. That's weird. Okay. I see what this was. Okay. Sometimes it just starts to kind of flow right. Rizel, what's up? How are you? This is... Okay. So I kind of screwed myself here. I see what I did. Okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. We are just going to take the L there and leave it because that's on the underside and I really don't care. Okay. Cool. Okay, now let's see. So we gotta mirror that. So let's go. It's been a minute. Hold on a second. I'm gonna save because it's been a hot second. Increment and save. What are you trying to fix? This joint looks janky. Yeah, so it was janky. I'm gonna leave it janky because I don't care to fix it at this point. It looks perfectly fine on the outside, so that's really all I care about right now on this part. So the question now, let's see. Let's go up here. D. Let's just put you right there. And then call that good. Oh. Oh, what did I do? There we go. Okay. Why did Control G. Center pivot D. I was like, why am I doing that separately? Okay, let's see how that works. So this part I haven't decided yet. Is it gonna flip up this way? It does work that way much better, I think. Yeah, so I think that'll be the way it like flips up. So I'll have to do some sort of mechanism to do that. Yeah. How long are you gonna go for? I haven't decided yet, man. Probably just for as long as I can. But the ships in the movie slide forward. Wouldn't that be the move? It totally would be if it could. I mean, like, technically, like, yeah, I guess I could, like, slide that forward, but no, that wouldn't work very well. Because according to his stuff, let's see, hold on, where's my... I didn't even open my PureRef. Give me a second. I didn't change anything, so that's fine. Let's see here. So yeah, in the original they do slide forward, but they have the room to do so. This one has more of like a blast shield on the front of it. So, in my opinion, it either flips forward or flips backwards. And he didn't really do any conceptual work for how it opens, so it's kind of stuck the way it is. Oh, wait, there's like... There's things here. So, potentially it flips up. I don't know, let's see, hold on. Let's see what he modeled in. Because he actually gave me the model for this, so let's see. Let's take a look here. I'm opening the software that we don't mention. Let's see, open recent, Nubian Interceptor. Alright, what did you do here? Yeah, so he does have, like, bracket stuff up here. Oh, wait. He also has brackets on the front. Or is that just... Oh, no, that's just detail. That's just detailing. I'm going to assume this would be, like, rotational stuff, but... Don't know, could be wrong. Also realizing that, like, I've got some reshaping to do. Oh, I've got a lot of reshaping to do. That's alright. Been using Maya for like 2 years, but I still don't know, can't do good UVs. Never tried Retopo UDIMs, any place or tutorials recommended. Can you please make some dedicated videos? So I do have some dedicated videos on those topics. I have a beginner UV video, which goes through simple to complex objects. I have an intro to rhizome tutorial, which goes over that, and then I have a bunch of shorts that go over different types of UV fixes. The only video I don't have currently is like a dedicated UDIM video. So that is something I'm going to look at doing because it's been asked a couple of times now at this point. But yeah, I do have a couple of videos, so take a look at those on my YouTube. I need... Alright, well, that's going to bother me now because now I know that that's shaped kind of weird. Appreciate it. Yeah, of course. It's alright. I'll worry about reshaping later. I'm going to focus on modeling for now. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do the flip up thing. Let's do this. I'm just going to do a real quick key set so I can rotate it up. Okay. So we'll start working on like a little flip up mechanism here. Because this is where I'm going to differ a little bit on the design. I was like, why is that not? Okay. Just gonna block this out real quick. So, alright, let's do another box. Hold on. I'm tired of creating boxes like this. Oh wait, hold on. Dose, apply, close. Okay. I should probably do a quick tip on that one. Let's see. One more question. Will you make a single UV for this model or like UDIMs? Yeah, most of my big stuff is UDIMs, so I don't usually do single UVs unless it's a really small object. But this one will be UDIMs. So, let's see. Widen that out a little bit. I just want to kind of get the placement here. Okay, let's flip it up again. Cool. All right. This song is like stressing me out. Jeez. All right. So if I think about this, I need some sort of like mechanism here. So like just like a rotating thingy do. Okay. So we're going to model kind of around this right now. If you couldn't tell, this is like one of my favorite parts of modeling because I get to do like a little bit of like mechanical design. And I don't know, I just really enjoy mechanical design stuff. Okay. Big plans for the weekend? We're decorating for Christmas tomorrow. So, that's what we're doing. But otherwise, nah, not really. Just kind of trying to relax. This will be the first weekend I get to enjoy without the impending doom of a government shutdown, so I'm going to kind of relax a little bit and take it easy. So are we? Nice. That's a good time to do it. We're doing it earlier this year because we agreed that we need to make the holidays actually feel like the holidays. So, doing it a little bit early. We're doing a bunch of like custom stuff too, so. Decker for Christmas so soon? Yeah, so we decided that we want to feel as like holiday-ish as we can. So we decorated like crazy for Halloween. And we're gonna go all out for Christmas too. You're getting banned. But yeah, we usually do it like at the end of November, but we figured, what's 15 days? Because there's really no like, I don't know, there's no Thanksgiving decorating. Like it's just kind of centered around food, you know? Let's see. Hi, graphic design student here. Just got back into Maya for a particular project I'm working on for a class. What is UDIMs? Okay, so UDIMs are multiple UV tiles. So I'll show you an example. I'd pull up my ArtStation, but I still can't log into it. Let's see, Cryptic Visionary. So if I go here, stills, art, practice, All right, so we're going to look at the Titan tank, just because that's my most recent one. So if we go to finals, my socials, oh no, not that one. That's the bad one. Okay, so here's what UDIMS looks like. So your UV tiles, most people are kind of used to traditionally working in this one-to-one space, so right here. UDIMS uses multiple tiles. So basically, think of every single tile as its own separate set of textures. So every single one of these tiles is its own grouping of textures. And so each of your UV islands gets split across these in order to get more resolution out of your textures. So that's basically what it is. So instead of using one tile, you have, I think this one's like 28 tiles. Generally, it's more of a like VFX workflow when you have like high fidelity assets that have to get super hyper close to the camera. You need as much texture resolution as you can possibly get out of them. They'll use UDIMs. Not so much like a game workflow. You can use UDIMs in like Unreal Engine, but it's a little janky. So hopefully that kind of explains it a little bit better. My head hurts looking at that. It must have taken days. Yeah, so that took 32 hours to UV. That was a nightmare. I don't ever want to do that again. Yeah, for sure, Zach. It definitely is. Goodness, so much to keep track of. What's up, Uncle Mike? How you doing, man? It was good hanging out with you, dude. Glad to see your. I think you ended up in a video that my buddy took. I think if you were transporting what I think you were today or yesterday. Depends on when he posted that video. But how you doing, man? Ton of fun. Nice. Yeah, the tank was a big project. You decide what's your next model and start working. So I kind of just go with the flow. Like I don't really. I know some artists will save like inspiration boards, but like I have a hard time with that because then I go back to it and there's so many projects I don't know what to choose from. So usually what I'll do is I will finish a big project and then I will just kind of go perusing ArtStation and see if I can find some concept art that I'd want to work with. That's kind of how I found this one. And then I'll reach out to that artist and be like, hey, can I use your stuff? And yeah, it's just kind of how I do it. And it's also heavily driven on whether or not I need to make content off of it, right? So like if I'm doing a project like the batteries. So the batteries was like a fun little, I don't know, 7-hour project. Where are you? So this one was for, real quick, little 7-hour project that was also a tutorial teaching people how to use Substance Painter. So it really depends on what the purpose of the project is. If it's portfolio work, it's a little bit different. So like this is for my portfolio, but this one wasn't. So that's kind of how I pick and choose things. I haven't been on the road for a week, unfortunately, but probably one of the teams out of Santa Teresa. Okay, gotcha. I saw a van that like vaguely looked like yours, and I was like, I wonder if that's him. But I got you. Yeah, the batteries was a fun one. If you're interested in doing the batteries, the tutorials are on my YouTube for how to learn Substance Painter. So, and you get the model for free. I'm thinking. Let's see. This needs to be like a port or something. I'm like thinking of how to make this different. I'm gonna cut this out real quick here, actually. I always pre-support these before I do them because it always causes me issues if I don't. Okay. Still learning. I want to be as good as I can before graduation. That's fair. So you're in school right now? How's school going for you? It does, thanks. I will most likely not use that. Yeah, it's one of those things where you do need to make sure you have a beefy computer to do it. The tank, for instance, runs like absolute ass on my PC because of that. But, it looks pretty, and that's what matters to me. So, that's the goal. Okay, this will be pretty simple, I think. Just trying to find all the places I need to support this real quick. There we go. That's cool. And then we just got to do the circle. Okay, good, 3. All right, sweet. So let's go ahead and mirror this mesh. Mirror. Yep. Not too good, not too bad. That sounds like college. 6 months to graduation, have to find work, still don't know how to do any/get work. Don't stress yourself out too badly about finding work outside of like in 3D immediately. Just get something to pay the bills, and then you can work on your portfolio and continue getting there. Like, unless you're like super confident that your portfolio is going to get you a job, don't feel bad that you can't get into the industry immediately because it's a mess right now. So take your time. And if you have questions, you're welcome to join our Discord. We can kind of work through some of your projects and take a look at them too. I wouldn't stress too much about it though. Super mess, big mess. We love the mess. I'm just glad it's the weekend. I feel that on a very deep level. Let's see. I haven't sent you a video. Wait. I have sent you a video on how to do the keyboard animation. Please check your Instagram chat. Wait, keyboard animation? What are you talking about? A little confused by what you mean there. What do you recommend? I tried like Fiverr. It's been 7 months. No one contacted. I have exams, so I can only do freelance, but I don't know where to look. So if you're really looking at doing it, like doing freelance and stuff like that, then the best way is going to be just reaching out to brands and seeing if you can provide services to them. I know that sounds kind of like scary, but that's one of the ways that I used to do all of my freelancing stuff. I would just reach out to a brand and look at what I could offer them and try to sell myself. That's kind of how you get started, and that's kind of how you build your kind of initial offering. And then eventually your portfolio starts to kind of speak for itself, and you can start getting like bigger clients. But it's definitely tough to get started. Okay. Let's see. The reason why I got back into it is because we are making a booth to display our projects for Capstone, and we need a way to plan out while solving some construction problem. And I had the experience in the past with being a school for game dev. Oh, okay, cool. Very cool. I have used Maya many times to like sketch out things and like do like home improvement projects. So that's always a good use for it. Yeah. So Rizel, if you're on YouTube, just type in !socials and it'll take you there. So before contacting brands, how many projects should I have in my ArtStation? Like minimum, I would say minimum at least have 3 to 4. I would shoot for higher personally, but that's just kind of me. But 3 to 4 is a good start. Just don't be going to like Sony and expecting to just like get them to hire you and stuff. Like find some small brands that you can work with and then kind of make your way up. It took me a while before I was doing like stuff for like bigger clients. And that was in film. Like that was a completely different space than like this. You know what would be a dream for me? Working at NetherRealm? NetherRealm. Oh, that's isn't that those are the people that do Mortal Kombat, right? That would be cool. Is that the people that do Mortal Kombat? It's been so long since I played one of those games. Okay, yeah. And Injustice. That's fair. Yeah. I could see you doing that. Whoa. Why? Sometimes I hate the bevel tool. Like with a burning passion. Burning passion. No. That should be fine. Is that going to be fine? Yeah, it'll be fine. It just looks a little weird. Uh-oh, same. Sometimes it creates multiple times versus edges. Yeah, I had something selected. It was dumb, unfortunately. More Star Wars, no peace. Wait, more Star Wars, no peace? No peace? What's up, Mr. Blazin', man? How you doing? I saw a reel where he was doing keyboard animation, but I don't understand the sequence. You can understand it? Hold on a second. Let me see what you sent me, because I don't really know what you're talking about. I sent the reel to you on Instagram. That's interesting. Huh. Plus corner adjustment. I don't, yeah, I have no idea. I don't know how he did that, if I'm being totally honest. I'd be interested to know, but I have no idea how he did that. The collision thing, that's just a bunch of different modifiers, but as far as the like animation when he's actually typing, I have no clue. I got food and the urge for Star Wars. Hell yeah. Well, welcome on in. It's a good place to be. Okay, so we've got that portion so far. That needs to drop down a bit, though. Kind of clashes a bit, but that's fine. Okay. That's going to be kind of weird to do. What is this supposed to be? This is just going to be the little hingy thing. Which currently is not working out very well. That's okay. So the question is, let's do this. I'm going to go back here. Let's see how that's rotating. So not beautifully. All right. So let's start kind of working on this. Just give myself a little bit of clearance. I don't think that's going to be near enough. No, it's not. Okay. So we're going to change this a little bit, which is fine. Not a big deal. So if I rotate that up, we'll just kind of play with this and plan. That will work. Just needs a little bit of shifting. Okay. Cool. Okay. How's your evening going, Mr. Blazin' Man? So let's see. Go to 20. So obviously I want that rotation changed a little bit, so let's do this. D. Just gonna temporarily plop it there. So that won't work. So that rotation needs to be elsewhere. Got cold as fuck at night? Did it? Yeah. It's been pretty cold here. So really I need the rotation to be like right there. So how can I do that? I could do like a clustered mechanism to where there's like an arm that rotates up and then over. Because I want that mechanically to work. Oh, we hit 2 hours. Instagram died. Give me a second. Gotta hit Instagram. Delete the video. Live video. Live one last time. Public. Next. Copy. Hit OK and go live. I really don't know why Instagram limits that, but we'll never know. Go live. Okay. Alright, so I need to think of how this mechanism is going to work, because let's do this. Just shared my latest work finished on your server. You please share your opinion. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, cool. Like a weird sniper pistol thing. Okay, cool. So this was like a game asset, I take it. Let's see. Overall, I love the shape of the pistol. I think one thing that kind of throws me off a little bit is the shape of the hammer. You've got this really sharp kind of like claw coming off of it that almost feels like it interferes with the actual pistol itself, but I mean the design is neat. I think the biggest thing here is just like lighting and light composition. You probably want to start taking a look at some of that stuff. But otherwise, like, the pistol looks cool. The texturing needs a little bit of work just because it's feeling really like chromatic. It's like almost chrome. And you want to kind of dial that back a little bit because like that's one of the big things that gives away CG stuff is that like the textures feel very perfect and very clean. So like with the handle, right, like you want that handle to be like a leather material, whereas if you look at kind of the overall combination of all your materials, everything feels like it kind of has the same level of gloss to it. And so your metal should be a different type of gloss than say like your leather. Leather's going to have like a really muted kind of like, it has a gloss to it, but it's very muted. It's very rough. It's not very like hyper shiny like the metal. So just a couple of things there, but you have a good start. It was my first time using Marmoset. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, I mean you're doing good so far. The only thing, let's see. So looking at your bump map is working pretty well. One thing I'd be careful with though is it looks like you kind of use like an overall bump instead of kind of picking and choosing where you put this stuff. So like you can see how your bump map just wraps around certain objects and just kind of like terminates weirdly. That's something to pay attention to when you're doing that. So like a lot of times with like guns, right? When you're talking about like an old-timey weapon like this, the filigree is going to be like either hand stamped or hand carved. So take a look at the way like filigree sits and then add those designs in separately instead of using like an all-around map like that. But the model looks good. Everything else looks great. Like I think just texturing and some lighting issues. Have you ever hired a new employee while you were working for a company? No, I have not. I don't do management stuff. And we're back. I agree. I also hate Insta, but here we are. Damn you, Meta. Yeah. Meta kills the streams at 1 hour for whatever reason, so I have to restart them. But if you ever want uninterrupted streams, join me on Twitch or YouTube. Thanks, I appreciate it. Yeah, of course. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I do like a little hinge. Because that'll allow me to rotate up and then change the rotation ever so slightly. It'll be a little bit different, but it shouldn't be too bad. So let's look at building that real quick. Alright, so let's think about that. Let's see how that works. Show view selected. So technically, if I change the rotation pivot of this guy, so that would rotate up. And let's just kind of keep this, hold on. This is, like, if you're ever curious on, like, how I plan how mechanisms work, this is exactly how I do this. So, I just know that this part right here needs to be centered right there, so. Okay, so if I rotate this guy up, that allows for that. And then a little bit of additional rotation here. So that clashes. So technically I need that like right here and then rotated that way. So the question is will this mechanism work for that? It will if I adjust it slightly. You kind of just have to plan and then test drive it. Yeah, that should work technically. And then we'll just set that back. So it won't be perfectly flush with anything. But that is how that'll work. So cool. Then I might hop over to YouTube C in a bit. All right, cool. Yeah, that'll work. It also feels a little bit more Star Warsy because it's kind of clunky and ugly. Okay. So let's make this not look bad. Delete that. Select the top point there. Oh shoot, no, I can't do that. Can't do multiple at once, you have to do one. Apply. 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 And apply. Gorgeous. Alright. I think I'll probably go for like another half hour or so. Okay, so I like how thick that is. I just want to kind of like change it up a little bit. You ever use plasticity or just work in Maya? I have not used plasticity. I've had a lot of people tell me that I should try it. I don't know if I'm necessarily that interested in it because that just leads to more retopology, and I don't like retopology. So, but I have heard of it, and I've seen people who use it. Let's do this. Why does it look like that? That's bizarre. I mean, really what I can do is just do this. Is retopo hard, or is it just time consuming? It's just time consuming, and it's honestly like one of the most boring parts of like doing characters and stuff. So like, as far as like creating a model in another piece of software and then having to go and retopologize it, that sounds so terrible. Okay. All right. Some people get really fast at it. I can't find myself enjoying it. Okay, so I don't want to affect the circular shaping here, so let's do this. Okay. It's one of the few times where I'm like, that would be much more efficient if I did it that way, but that's fine. Okay, cool. Let's see how that's working. Beautiful. It just needs a little bit of like support here, because I did the top and not the bottom. Okay, that's pretty good. Oh. It's like, why does it look like that? That's why. Okay, cool. Delete that. Control D. Get you over here. All right, cool. You'd like Topo. So, you know what's interesting? I was watching Abe today use Topo Gun, and I am curious about it. I don't want to buy it necessarily yet, but I am curious about it. Why don't you just bevel? I do bevel. I do a combination. So some of them, sometimes like selecting everything is more of a pain than just like dragging something. But yeah, I will usually do bevels. Okay. So let's see. Let's go. Actually, why would I do that? Hold on. Actually, find that there's like no need to use that tool anymore. Okay. So let's take a look here. Trying to go as like simplistic as possible, so I don't have to like hyper animate these joints if I ever rig this. Which, if we're being totally honest, I probably will. I just kind of want the mechanisms hidden. Okay. Okay. Sweet. Live one last time? Oh, no. Oh, yeah. I probably shouldn't have worded that way. I've gone live like 3 times tonight. I will... No, trust me. I will be going live continuously. Like, just for tonight. Yeah, I probably should have worded that better. My bad. But it did get you to click on it, so... You know? Maybe it worked. Looks good, to be honest. Nice work. Thank you. It's alright. It's getting there. Honestly, this will probably just be a pretty simple... it needs something else. Let's see. I need, like, another piece jutting off the side to, like, convey the fact that this actually holds weight. Let's see. Rebaking maps for Joker's body, and I have 40 UDIMs at 8K. Nice. I like pain. I like 8K maps. They make me happy. He can add some support for the frame or something. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is I'll probably just like add like an additional piece in there to kind of hold that together. But this will at least kind of lend to it for now. Mesh, mirror. Let's take a look at this and see if there's any detailing I want to do. Honestly, probably not a whole lot, but we'll just add some shaping just to break it up a little bit. Yeah, I'm just gonna... This is one of those situations where I will just multi-cut my way through it, because, like, it's easier. No, actually, I don't need to do that. Okay. Okay, da-da. Alright, let's mirror that. Smooth it, make sure it looks okay. It's looking fine. Cool. There we go. Nice. Mostly completed thing. Doesn't look amazing from the out. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look too bad from the outside, actually. It's just another, like, kind of like piece of texture in there, but from the inside, it looks great. So, and that'll give us the rotation that I was looking for. So, cool. Let's see. You can just mirror. Yep. I used to do it that way for a long time, actually. The mirror tool is a wonderful tool. Let's see. Make a video on principles of animation. That's definitely not a place where I'm super duper like ready to teach that, because I'm so far out of it. It's been a while since I've been doing it. So eventually I will at some point. I've got some new stuff coming for you guys. It's going to be very different than what most other people are doing in terms of like the 3D space. So there's going to be some cool stuff next year. I promise you that. Will you teach me making a powerful portfolio? So I don't like teach people how to build portfolios, but we do portfolio reviews every once in a while. You're welcome to submit for those in the Discord. But yeah, I don't really teach people how to build portfolios. Okay, so I want a pipe or something. I think I'm gonna just do it from right down there. So let's do curve. Let's see. So I'm gonna go. Nope. Just right up there. Okay. Let's see. I'll open that up a little bit because I can't see what I'm doing. like at all. All right. Okay, hold on. Increment save. Make sure I'm saving, because otherwise I will lose something important, and I don't want to do that. Okay. So let's start twisting and turning this curve a little bit. And then I'm going to just kind of like wobble it around a little bit, because I want it to look Star Wars-y. Should rest along the top of the headboard there. Okay. Sweet. I'm gonna make a pipe here. I always hate having to do this. There we go. Okay. Just want to make sure that that feeds in there properly. Okay. Can I see the wireframe? Yeah, hold on. There you go. Lots of stuff is not smoothed right now, but that's your wireframe. Oh, can you check work in progress projects on your Discord? First time making a robotic arm, so I don't know if it looks good or not. Let's see. Oh, nice. All right. Yeah. It looks solid. The issue that I am seeing is that if your character goes like this, that plate on the forearm, on the lower forearm, is going to go right into the elbow. So just be mindful of where things are going to collide. It's one of the big things with modeling is, like, especially when you're doing like mechanical joints and things, like you need to be mindful of, like, if you're going to rig that character, how are those going to collide and work together? Because if it's going to, like, if they're going to bend their arm like this, is that plate going to either flip open or is it going to slide up? Like, how's that function? So just take a look, pay attention to, like, when you're modeling things, like how they're going to mechanically function. That way you add just that little extra little bit of like realism to it. But otherwise it looks cool. Kind of reminds me of the Mantis blade from Cyberpunk. How long have you spent while making this model? It looks dope though. This is like 40-ish hours so far. Longer than it should be. Okay. That should be good. I can delete that curve now. Center, Control D. And -1. Cool. Let's smooth those real quick, see how that's working. Beautiful. Alright, so that handles that. We've got some nice animated movement going on in there, so that's cool. Sweet. I was not thinking of rigging just like a showpiece model. That's fair. Yeah, again, like, you do want to convey that you had the thought process. So if you don't want to, you don't want to. You don't have to. That's not a big deal. But in my opinion, if I looked at that, I would say, like, that would never function properly. So try to add that little level of realism. And, like, all you'd have to do is cut a chunk of it off. But that's totally up to you. That's just my nitpick. I tend to model things to where they would, like, function in real life. So that's just me. But otherwise, I love the design. I think it's super cool. All right. Cool. Well, that was an entire day of working on this cockpit, and I'm pretty happy with where it is so far. What I'd like to do, though, let me see. I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Set key. We're going to go up to 20. Just because I know where this needs to go. Right about there. Cool. Almost worked. There's a little bit of an issue there, but I can fix that in a little bit. Otherwise, the rotation works. I just need to change the back of that a tad bit. Cool. Let's see. Have you played Cyberpunk? There was a character named Morgan Black. Hand was making. Yeah, I've played it. It's been, God, I finished it in like 2021, I think, when it came out. Was it 2021? Because I played it immediately. It was buggy as hell, but I liked it. You can add latches on the glass panel. Will look cool. Yeah. So there'll be some things that I gotta adjust there, but for the most part, that's at least functioning. And now I have this cool little toggle, so I can work inside of it if I need to. Cool. How is that working when it comes up? Ooh, it goes right through the mesh. Yeah, I'll have to fix that a little bit, but otherwise, do a little first-person view. Yeah, that's fun. Cool. And it closes up really well. Everything looks pretty good on the inside, minus a couple of weird little issues here and there, but not bad, not bad. Cool. Alrighty. I am going to go ahead and freeze all my stuff. I'm going to increment and save it because... What is that control panel? Scary. I know. It's based off of like 4 different Star Wars control panels. So... Alrighty. Guys, I think that's going to be it for me tonight. I went actually over by like 10 minutes, so... I am hungry. I need to get some food. But... Instagram, since you guys are... Oh, Instagram died again. Cool. Well, Instagram, good night. I'll see you guys later. All right, YouTube and Twitch. Thank you guys so much for hanging out tonight. I appreciate it wholeheartedly. It's been good talking with everybody and hanging out. Good night, Uncle Mike. Have a good one. It was fun. We'll come back again. Nice. Always awesome to hear. Thanks for hanging out, and thanks for joining the Discord and sharing your stuff. It's super cool to see. Yeah, guys, I will be back live again on Monday. Will I be live on Friday? Yeah. I'll be live my normal days next week. So you guys have a wonderful, safe weekend. YouTube, this is where I say goodbye because we don't raid or anything like that on YouTube. But Twitch, hang around. We're going to raid out here in just a second. But thanks again, guys. You guys have a wonderful weekend. And then Twitch, let's raid. So let's find somebody to raid.